Hello, this is Jenny from Healing the Wounded Heart. I think it's true to say that probably most of us have appreciated in a new way in recent months the beauty of God's creation. Of course, we always appreciated, for example, that the sky is a beautiful blue, but somehow it seems more beautiful, doesn't it? The bird's song seems more beautiful than usual as well. And there's so much more that we could say about nature. I think we probably are more aware of nature because we are less distracted by the other things that would normally have taken up our attention. So clearly, God is seen in nature. And in the Bible, in Romans chapter 1, verse 20, we read this. Forever since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through his workmanship. So, we see God's creativity in nature. His creativity is absolutely incredible. Think about all the different variety there is in the natural world. How is it possible that he could come up with this massive variety of birds, insects, mammals, trees, or flowers? We see God's strength in nature. We can think of the strength of a lion or a bear. Also the strength of water found in places like the Niagara Falls in Canada, which I have personally visited and seen the great power and force and roar of the waterfalls. We see also in nature God's love of beauty. Whenever we can get up to the mountains, our attention is always drawn to the beauty of the alpine wildflowers. They're exquisite, aren't they? And yet to us, it seems that they are wasted because their beauty is not available for everyone to see. Only very few people can see the beauty of those flowers. We also see in nature God's attention to detail. Each bird comes with its own colours, its own shape and its own sound. Each tree has its own bark and leaf. Each flower has its own petals and seeds. We also see in nature God's tenacity. One of the craziest things to see are trees, big ones, growing out of solid rock on the mountainside. How in the world do they find the nutrients they need out of the tiny amounts of soil that are found there? And yet their roots find places to cling to, and they grow despite the impossibility of it all. We also see in nature God's orderliness. When we look up at the stars at night, they're not dull, are they? No, but they are incredibly bright, and there are millions of them. And they appear to be just spread out randomly across the sky. Amazing. We also see in nature God's redemption. One of the most astounding things that we see is what happens after the aftermath of a forest fire. Fire seems and is, of course, destructive, and yet after a fire, new life comes in the forest within a matter of weeks or even days. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 13 tells us that nothing in all creation is hidden from God. This means that we can trust him with all of the minute details of our lives too. God is an expert at redeeming hardship, disaster, or even death. And so as his children, we can expect and trust him to redeem every area of our life that we Give over to Him.